You are now about to be a willing victim of the Odysseus effect.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Alright, it's your boy out here in these woods, the American Gangster, aka the Wet Bandit, aka yours truly, aka the Mad Genius, aka Cool Breeze. You guys ain't heard that one. I ain't heard it in a long time. Ain't nobody called me that in like over 10 years. Yeah, those are my nicknames. I got some other nicknames. I got some nicknames in jail that were pretty good. That's where the Wet Bandit came from, actually, because I was in there for flooding my apartment, and they were kind of use it to make fun of me, you know, like those dudes were in there for like, you know, some of them for pretty serious crimes, so they're like, fucking Wet Bandit over here, you know, it's kind of funny. Another one I got in there was Snake Eyes, which I dug that one, and it's because like I got this fucking scar across my eye, you know, and not just that, but like the dude that gave it to me was like real big into astrology and like Chinese years and shit like that, and I guess 89, the year I was born, is the year of the snake, and yeah, so like whenever I'd get mad at people in there, you know, and I'd squint my eyebrows down, and the scar becomes real apparent, and he's like, chill out, Snake Eyes. I took it as a compliment, you know, I was like, fuck yeah, you know, run away. But, and then the funniest one I had in there was Dick Nuts, and I'm sure you're like, whoa, why was your name Dick Nuts in jail? Fucking come here and I'll show you. I'm just kidding. It was like, you know, like when you don't know somebody's name, and you're like, oh, what's her face over there, you know, it was kind of like that. It was like my second day, they didn't know my name yet, and they were like, fucking Dick Nuts over there in cell 6, you know, and they were like, Dick Nuts, they thought it would like make me mad, you know, they're trying to get my goat. They didn't know your boy here has an amazing sense of humor, and they were like, it doesn't make you mad when we call you Dick Nuts, because like it's kind of, you know, the way they meant it, so they thought I'd be offended. And I was like, no, you know, I see how happy it makes all you. One of you says the words Dick Nuts, and everybody starts laughing. Like, who the fuck would I be to take that away from you guys? You know, like that's, you know, you guys are happy. I'm happy with that. So, yeah, your boy out here. Which, yeah, I'd take that, it's your boy out here in these woods. That's from the Unforgivable videos on YouTube, which, if you haven't seen those, fucking, I don't know. Think of a really nice, quiet way to go kill yourself, because those videos are classic. It's your boy out here in these woods. I'm turning on my own niggas. I'm pissed off. Yeah, I could quote that dude all day. Love it. But yeah, your boy here, at my core, I'm a thinker, you know? I like to ponder. Sometimes I dig too deep, and like, once you're at the level of just pure truth, anything deeper is convoluting to the truth. So sometimes it's to a fault. I'm a thinker. But nonetheless, your boy here uses his noggin. So when I think, you know, I try to be positive with my thoughts. I try to make the world a better place for everybody. So I was thinking, you know, some of the most painful experiences of my life, guys. Like, some of the times where I just wanted to scream more than ever is when I'm at the mall with a fucking girl. Oh my God. It's just really bad. Like, you know, a lot of times I try to run away to like Sharper Image or like one of them stores that has like a $5,000 massage chair, and I'll just like lay in that fucking thing, you know, and just try to escape reality. Because, yeah, but a lot of times you get caught sneaking, and they're like, where were you going? Why don't you want to spend time with me? And it's like, listen, lady. I stole that from Bill Burr's podcast. I just love it, so props to Bill Burr for the lady. But listen, lady, like, if you were me, you would understand the tremendous amount of pain I'm in right now standing next to you with this fucking clothing rack. Like, you don't even know. It's bad. I hate it. Because, like, I'm not a very materialistic person, and I hate brands. Like, a lot of my clothes are, just like plain clothes, or they got like a graphic design on them that I thought was cool, but there's no like, I'm not walking around with a Nike shirt on. I know I plug Under Armour because I dig them as a product, but like, I'm not like, yeah, that's what I'm about, Under Armour. So I was thinking, like, how can I make this shopping experience better for everyone? Because, I mean, you don't want to be shitty at me because I don't fucking care about your clothes, you know? So, and I don't want to be sitting there hating life because I hate your fucking clothes, you know? So I came up with an idea, and it's a pretty good one. I think it could really strengthen a lot of relationships out there. And this idea was all these stores, and I'm talking about like Charlotte Russe and Forever 21 and all those bullshit stores. If they just took, one little corner of the store, they don't have to, take out much space, make it a men's section. And I know what you're thinking, like, well, how can you make a girl's store have a men's section? I thought about it, and I thought about a very cost-effective way to do it as well. And install it. Everything's pretty cheap. And this is what you do. You get you some plastic wrap to use as wallpaper, and you get you a circular table, and you get you 6 chairs, and on top of that table is a .44 Magnum with 1 bullet in it, because me and every man on this fucking planet would rather take a 1 in 6 chance of blowing our fucking heads off than watching you spend 20 minutes going, what do you think, baby? The pink one or the really light red one, Which one do you like better? And it's just like, you already got a purple one at home, bitch. Do you even need it? Like, it's ridiculous, It's like, I don't want to stand here and watch you overpay for tiny amounts of clothing with my money, Like, I can go fucking down the street and get a pack of t-shirts for $12, Fucking 5 t-shirts, $12. You're about to spend $34 on some shit that don't even cover your titties, Like, you girls get ripped off with clothes, hardcore. But, yeah, that was my opening joke. I wrote that a long time ago. Well, the concept of it, I'd rather play Russian roulette than watch you go clothes shopping. That's old. But I came up with it, so that is an Odysseus original. Right there. So yeah, I'm trying to get a format for this podcast going. So, I got the intro with the submarine, ping, ping, and then the Billy Madison quote and all that. And then I like to start with a joke. Sometimes I'll make a fake sponsor, throw it in there, and then make a joke about that as well. And then it's going to go, next is crazy story time. And I figured I'll tell stories that most people won't experience in life, hopefully. And so I figured, there's like 3 categories to put this shit in. Jail stories, stories of being like a white guy in the hood, and like, not like, I did live in the hood for a little bit, but like, talking like, it's just like straight up us down there buying drugs, Crazy shit goes down when you're down there, though. And then the third one is category is thug stories. And what I mean by that is just like shit when I like me and my homies fucking suit up and do some dirt, like I know I call myself the American gangster, and I really came up with that after the first couple podcasts. People were like, Tyler, you're a gangster, right? And I was like, oh shucks, am I really? But I consider myself a thug because gangsters, by definition, are part of a gang. I would never join a gang for 10 million reasons. I'm not even going to go into it. But I do act like some of those dudes act sometimes. But your boy here is an individual. So I'm a thug, like Tupac. Brow. So yeah, my first story is going to be in that category, thug stories. And this is hopefully this is the last time I mention the Aryan fucking Brotherhood on this fucking podcast, because I fucking hate me and neo-Nazi. But this is the first time I ever had a run-in with them, ever. So I was hanging out with a guy, gonna change his name to Phil, and yeah, Phil is dead now. He's not the Aryan, or I'd be like, fuck Phil. So I changed his name, just, respect the dead. Which I'll kind of touch on in a little bit later. About that respect the dead shit. But, so I was hanging out at Phil's house. Everybody's over there partying. Having a fairly good time. Some dude runs in, man. And, that wasn't at the party. And he goes, yo, these motherfucking Aryans are fucking running their mouth talking shit. Blah, 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 blah. And, so Phil... Phil is 5'10", but he's like 235, buff. Like, this dude is like a fucking albino 50 Cent, like he's a white dude that has been fucking hitting the weights, so this other dude comes in saying, we got beef, yo. And so fucking Phil, not being a punk, is like, alright, we got beef, let's take it to him. And I'm like, fuck, wrong place, wrong time, Tyler. Whoops, gonna get fucking sucked into this, I know it. Because I was the only one that had a license. Like, Phil never really left his house unless somebody else was driving him. And I was like, any second now, here it comes. And so Phil goes to his room and grabs all the black clothing he has. And he comes out and he gives it to all of us. One of them was like those like Adidas track pants that have the white stripe on them. And he's like, fuck, it's got a white stripe. Pulls out a can of spray paint. Spray paints the white stripe black. Fucking funny. It's extra funny, actually, because this whole story takes place in the wintertime. There's snow everywhere. Like, we shouldn't have been wearing black. It was nighttime, so I get what he was thinking, but, people on drugs make stupid decisions. And, so yeah, here comes Tyler, you gotta drive us. And I'm like, fuck, where we gotta go? Where we're going is my neighborhood. Valley Farms. Welcome to the Valley. It's funny, because, like, out in like other places, the Valley's like the nice place, and this place, Valley Farms, dude, you guys know it. Fucking, this place is built on fucking broken dreams and food stamps. Like, this place is just fucked up. Like, you can just take the trash out and just like hear fucking crack sizzling in the air. It's like, oh god, this place is garbage. So yeah, we go out there and we all scatter out. We didn't bring any weapons, dude. I don't know what our plan was. I just knew that like I had to do it. Like I didn't want to look like a bitch and didn't want to look a bitch, because I ain't a bitch. And so, we're all scattered out surrounding this dude's apartment, and I'm hiding behind this dumpster, peeking over it, fucking scoping out the area, and we're all remaining in contact with cell phones and shit. And, the Aryan Brotherhood guy comes outside, and, he sees me, and, like, I'm about, like, the same size as Phil, Phil, I said he was 5'10", 235. I'm, like, 5'9", 220. Phil's just in a lot better shape than me. I was 220 at the time. I'm not 220 now. I'm, like, 180. But, yeah, so the dude, we got, like, ski masks and gloves and shit on, so the dude can't identify us, and it's dark out. So he sees me peeking over the dumpster, and he goes, I see you, Phil. I see you. I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna get that Mossberg. I'm gonna fuck you up. And I was like, oh shit, about to get murdered over mistaken identity. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm in my neighborhood. I just ran home real quick. I was like, fuck this shit. Took all the clothes off, fucking sat down, got on the internet. I was like, woo, literally dodged a bullet there. And so I'm like, nice, got away. I'm like, fucking, I know I'm gonna wake up to like fucking news choppers and all this shit outside tomorrow, but I wasn't so lucky. Fucking, like, 20 minutes later, all these fucking fucked up fucking... They were my friends, but they were fucked up, start throwing rocks at my window at my fucking mom's house, like, ding, ding, ding. They're like, come on, we gotta go back home. And I was like, fuck, I am home, but I'll take you guys home since I brought you here. So I take them home, and that was the end of that night, Nothing too crazy. I mean, it was kind of crazy, but nothing bad really happened. Just a bunch of shit talking and fucking drunk dudes flexing on other drunk dudes and gun threats, Typical Valley Farm shit. So yeah, that was my crazy story time, guys. Hope it entertained you. I got way more stories, dude. Like I don't even realize how many stories I got. And I'll be talking on the phone to somebody, dude, and they'll be like, "Dude, that's fucking crazy." And I'll be like, "Yeah, it kind of is. Maybe I should put it on the podcast." So yeah. The next, I told you, got a new format. So after crazy story time is conspiracy theories. Because, like, I'm real big into conspiracy theories. And I know a lot of you guys are like, conspiracy theories, those aren't true, blah, blah, blah. And what I have to say to you is, fucking do your research, motherfucker. Because, like let's just break down the term conspiracy theory. Conspiracy, it comes from the word conspire, which means, like two people getting together in secrecy to enact a plan. That shit happens all the time, You ever gotten, that shit happens all the time. And they call it a theory because just like in science, it hasn't been proven yet. So I'm going to start with something that it's very well documented, and it didn't actually happen because one of our greatest presidents, John F. Kennedy, vetoed this thing and was like, you guys lost your fucking marbles. There's no way I'm going to fucking sign off on this. And it's called Operation Northwoods. This was a very real thing that was proposed by the Department of Defense and I think Joint Chiefs of Staff. It was during the Cold War, and it was right after the whole Cuban Missile Crisis, where Russia had a bunch of missiles in Cuba pointed right at fucking us, and we were like, hey, you might need to scooting those back a little bit. It's kind of, you got us sweating bullets over here. And so they did. They moved the missiles, and we were like, well, fuck you, Cuba. You let them fucking, what the fuck, Cuba? So we wanted to get revenge on Cuba. And what Operation Northwoods was a plan to use a drone airliner, like a 747, but it was going to be a drone, like remote controlled. Nobody on it. Just a giant ass, hollowed out airplane flying through the sky. We were going to fly it over Cuba and blow it the fuck up. And we were going to say that the Cubans blew it up and that they killed 200 Americans, innocent civilians, just flying over Cuba, going to South America or some shit. I don't know where they were going to say it was, but because it never fucking happened. Because JFK was like, fuck that, dude. You want us to, lie to our people, make them feel sorrow, like make them think a tragedy happened. It's a false flag. That's what this is. So whenever you hear people talking about false flags, they're not all fucking crazy, That shit happens. And so yeah, they were gonna do that. Kennedy said no. Kennedy said no to a lot of things, and I think that's why dude caught fucking one in the throat and one in the head. They were like, dude doesn't want to play ball. Let's get him off the court. So they did. That's a big conspiracy theory. You could talk for hours and hours and hours about the JFK assassination, but yeah. So look up Operation Northwoods, because that was some real shit documented. Like there's documents. God, I sound like Alex Jones. There are black helicopters circling my house right now. I have the documents. They get their gas money from the Clinton Foundation. Ah! Sorry, that was my Alex Jones impression. Wasn't very good. But, yeah. Yeah. This podcast is going to get broken in half, guys, because the next two categories are what's going on in the world today, which, pretty much is current events. Haven't really looked at the news today, so can't do that. And then the next category, because my last podcast was all about love, spread the love, keep the love, share the love, and it goes full circle, and then everybody's loving, and it's like, wait, what was that other emotion that used to exist? It was the opposite of this? We don't know, because it's gone forever, guys. Like, we can win this, we can win all these wars. And by we, I mean everybody. Everybody can win all these wars if we just stop fucking shooting at each other and go home and be like, wow, that was stupid shit, huh? Just love. Love, 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 love. So, yeah. So, why was I talking about love again? Oh, because I wanted to end with a positive story or like a motivational story or just some, something to make you think about being a better person. And I haven't found that yet either because I haven't looked for it. So the second half of this podcast is going to be news and then a good story, something to put a little smile on your face, give you a little faith in humanity, because that's something we need, man, like it's hard to be optimistic in today's times, for real. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to look them things up. I'll get back to you in the AM. And this will be the first new podcast, because Yeah, after that love one, I don't want to sound like a stupid hypocrite, up here fucking fuck shit ass bitch cunt, shit like that, like, so I want to end on a positive note each time. So, yeah, there might be a little 1 second pause in here. Forgive me. And we're back, guys. Alright. So, yeah, found me news article, found me a motivational story, and found a badass quote that means a lot to me. And they all tie in together. Your boy here should have been a fucking journalist or something, Wouldn't that have been a better career path than a heroin addict? Just fucking around. Yeah, like I said, fucking 9 months off the shit. Fucking go me, right? Alright, so, the news article, it's not an article, it's just like it's just what's going on in the world, because that's the name of this segment. What's going on in the world today? And what's going on right now, guys, is I really don't like to talk about politics or religion on here. I hate alienating my audience. I don't like people disagreeing with me, because then they might just never listen to another podcast. So I'm not going to state my opinions on this man, because I've got quite a few of them, on both sides, very mixed feelings on this man. And this man happens to be our Commander-in-Chief, President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. This fucking guy, right? No matter how I feel about him, I think he's the funniest president of all time. Like, if you watch, like, the Thug Life videos on YouTube, like, that dude says some fucked up shit, And it's like, wow, that's the president. But it's hilarious, and, like, he ain't beating around the bush, Okay, so what's going on right now in the world, guys, is like our Congress is, this even ties in with conspiracy theories, because it's a conspiracy. They are conspiring to get the man that we elected president. Not we. I refused to vote in this election. I was like, gun to my head, Hillary Trump, pull the fucking trigger. I ain't fucking playing your games, like, fuck you. So yeah. They're conspiring to remove this man from office. They're trying to impeach him on obstruction of justice charges. And the reason I'm talking about this is because if there's anything I hate, it is a sore loser, okay? Like, a loss is so much better for you long term than a win. I know, like, when you're talking about the highest office in the world, it might not be, but, like, just in general, like, you learn so much more from a loss than you do from a victory. Like, I tie everything back to martial arts in my head, because that's the thing that it's the art I understand the most. I'm not saying I'm like a master of jiu-jitsu by any means, but they say a master of any art sees his art in everything. So, if you're the best carpenter in the world, you look at everything and you relate it to, whittling wood. I relate everything back to jiu-jitsu. So, like my go-to submission, if I got somebody on their back and I'm in side control, is a head and arm choke. It's my favorite. It's also called an arm triangle. And if I get somebody in that, they're going to tap. And I don't learn anything when they tap. It's like, what, I learned I'm good at my best submission? I didn't learn shit. But when somebody puts me on my back and they go for some go-go plata or some shit that I've never even trained, I'm like, whoa, what was that? I've got so much to learn. A loss is a beautiful thing. Somebody that's never lost has, first of all, never pushed the limits, and second of all, has never tried anything hard. Because nobody's just a born winner, Like, there's people that go undefeated, like Floyd Mayweather and John Jones and shit, but, like, and I know some of you are like, John Jones has a loss on his record. That loss was a DQ because he was just beating the dog shit out this dude, and he threw one illegal elbow in the process. They banned 12 to 6 elbows in the UFC, which is an elbow that goes straight from the top of the arena down to the mat. If you put a little angle on it, it's fine. Or if you're standing and you do the exact same torque of your body, exact same elbow, but since you're standing, it's going from side to side, it's legal. And the reason they did this is because this fucking, like, Christian bodybuilders that, like, show up and, like, rip phone books in half, like, some athletic commission saw them fucking elbow a giant ice block in half, and they're like, oh my god, you can't do that to another man. Meanwhile, you can throw a spinning heel kick, torque every bit of your body. Your heel is just as hard as your elbow, you know? Like, these fuckers don't know shit about martial arts that make these rules. Yeah, so you can learn way more from a loss. So when I see these, and like I said, I hate alienating my audience, but they're Democrats in Congress that are doing this. You know, they got a few Republicans that don't like Trump, and the reason a lot of Republicans don't like Trump is because he's not a politician, and that's the one thing I do like about him. You know, like, he showed up to the dance, and he's like, I don't know how to dance, and he just started improvising, and everyone's like, yo, dude, you see that fucking new dance on the fucking dance floor? That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. He's just like, you know, and I don't know where I was going with that exactly, but they're conspiring to remove him from office. They're going to try to throw an obstruction of justice charge at him for who knows what. That's such a trumped up, funny term there, I guess. It's a trumped up bullshit charge. Like, I've had cops threaten me with that, and it's like, okay, since you work on the side of quote unquote justice, since you're on the government side, anything you want to do is part of the, you know, judicial process. So if I don't want to go along with what you're doing, I am obstructing justice. And that's bullshit. And since all these people are butthurt about losing in Congress, they're trying to, you know, make it seem like he's not on our side. He's not on the side of the machine. So he's obstructing justice. It's bullshit. And they're going to try to impeach him, and then they're going to try to, you know, charge him criminally and get him removed from office. That is their plan. And it's bullshit. One, you're being a sore loser, you know? Don't look at how you can reverse the results, because first of all, that is an insult to everyone who voted in that election, even the losers. You know, you're undermining our democracy. That is not right. That's not American. You know, we got a system, and if some dude that's, you know, it would be like if some new guy came into my dojo and then just like beat the shit out of all my senseis, and all of us got together and we're like, we're going to jump that guy in the fucking parking lot, fuck him, instead of, whoa, dude, how did our sensei lose to that guy? You know, our sensei knows so much. How did he? Because people are like, they couldn't believe Trump won. I couldn't believe it. Like I told you in the first podcast, I literally threw up when I saw the news. I was like, what the fuck? Like, that straight up happened. And, so, like, yeah, you shouldn't be asking, how can we reverse these results, or how can we get back at him? You should ask yourself, how the fuck did we lose to this guy? Like, what the fuck is wrong? And I can tell you what went different. Like, as society's advancing, we're like guinea pigs for this whole social media, internet shit. You know, it hasn't been around that long. We're the first generation to really have it our whole lives. And, all the reasons people wouldn't vote for Hillary are shit like people don't really want to talk about, you know? Like, talking about like dead bodies and shit. And if you're talking about charging Trump with obstruction of justice, Hillary will admit to you that, you know, she fucking was using her fucking BlackBerry to send fucking emails that were fucking top secret and shit. Like, she broke the law to a much higher degree that could have threatened many more Americans' lives than what Trump did. So, like, don't be a hypocrite and a sore loser. Like, come on. And like I said, I'm not trying to single out Democrats. Like, I voted for Obama twice. I regret the second one. Only reason I don't regret the first one is because, like, you know, like, he talks a good talk, and he won a lot of votes. Indiana went blue for the first time since JFK, you know? I don't feel bad for that, but, you know, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. So that's why I regret the second one. Although when I look at both of the people running against him, it's like I don't know. Politics, right? But yeah, so it's like, now you're being a sore loser and a hypocrite. What you should do in these times of loss is strengthen yourself. That way, when round 2 comes, you've got all your ammo, you know? Instead of trying to get him out of office, they could spend the next 4 years, you know, fucking building up a candidate, digging up dirt on Trump, because, like, Trump's not that good of a debater, really. Like, when you watch the debates, he's very unprofessional. He doesn't listen to the time limits, and he interrupts the moderator. He interrupts his opponent. Like, he's a fucking monkey wrench in the whole system, but sometimes you don't need a wrench, you know, you need a screwdriver. So, I don't know. But yeah, So that's what's going on in the world. They're trying to remove our president from office, which I know a lot of you were like, yeah. And you people should fucking move to China, dude. Or not even China, like move to fucking North Korea where nobody's allowed to run against anybody, because if you fucking try to run against them, you and your whole family get deleted from existence, you know? Because if you don't respect the results of an election, like in 2004, I couldn't believe we voted Bush in twice, you know? I was like, look what he did, all these wars, how much fucking debt we're accumulating, like how could you vote for him again? But at no point was I like, get him out of there, put John Kerry back, you know, like, it's like, no, dude, that's not how this country works. It never has worked like that, and if it ever did, it's not America. Alright, so yeah, that's what's going on in the world, you know, they're trying to impeach and remove a man who, and like, if you talk to people in the know, like, they rig elections. You can't really fully rig an election because a lot of places still use paper ballots. You can hack those voting machines, but the paper ballots, you know, they go in a tub and they get counted. Like, they're in the physical. They're not ones and zeros, you know? And, so, like, the fact that they tried to rig this election and still lost lets you know, like, nobody really wanted Hillary, man. Nobody. People that did are in denial about the facts. Like, the Clinton Foundation, not a good foundation. Hillary Clinton, not a good person. You know? She was fucking dying this whole fucking campaign, you know? Having fucking seizures, getting carried by 6 dudes back to her car. They had a black ambulance following her around, you know? It looks like one of those, like, Mercedes, like, vans. But it was an ambulance because they were like, at any minute, this bitch could croak, you know? Okay, so, yeah. Talking about losing and failure. And how it's not, oh, we lost, this sucks, I hate these results, blah, blah, blah. It's, this is a prime opportunity to get better. That's what failure is. So, I'm going to tell you a little story here, a little motivational story. There was a man named Samuel Langley. He was born in 1834, before the bicycle was even invented. You know, no bicycles. And he lived a good life. He had dreams of flying, like most kids, you know. Everybody wants to fly, you know. It's dope. And this is way before, like, it was before the bicycle, you know. Like, they didn't have nothing. You were just walking, or there was a horse, you know. Like, option A, option B. Those are the modes of transportation available. So this man, educated, smart. So let's fast forward from 34 to 1898. Now, Professor Samuel Langley, one of the world's most respected scientists, was given $50,000, which, can you comprehend how much money that was at the turn of the 19th century? Like, holy shit. And they gave this to him to build his dream because they respected him. They thought he was the smartest man in the room, and if anybody can make an airplane, it's this guy. So, they give him the money, he builds it, the world shows up to watch this thing launch. Like, everybody, you know, everybody around, like, it was called the Aerodrome. He launches it. This amazingly smart professor is about to make history. Almost. Because that aerodrome went straight into the ocean. Right into the ocean. You know? $50,000 in his dream went right into the ocean. The crowd boos. Newspapers start mocking him. They say, it'll take 10,000 years before we can make something like that. I think they said 10 million years is what the newspaper article I read said. They said it's not worth our time. It's impossible. And, you know, Samuel Langley abandons his dream. Later he dies, a broken man, ultimately a failure. So let's fast forward a few years, just a couple years after the world openly mocked this man and called him an idiot and, you know, probably drove him to an early death of, you know, feeling like a loser. So yeah, fast forward a couple years, there's these 2 high school dropouts. They have the exact same dream, but no one's willing to fund them for 2 reasons. One, they're like, uh, look at what Professor Langley did. You know, he crashed into the ocean. And two, he was a professor. You kids couldn't even graduate high school. We're not going to give you any fucking money to fucking crash into the ocean, you know? Like, get out of here. We already saw this movie. So, without funding, these guys built an airplane. And one day, they launch it. And, just like Langley, it crashed. Not just once, but often. Almost killing them. Not just once, but often. Like, these guys were... They refused to accept defeat like Langley did, you know? Like, they weren't... It's pride is what separates these two guys. Langley was so proud and so high on his horse that when he crossed failure, it crushed him. But these guys... You know, like I said, they're high school dropouts. I think they were actually running a bicycle shop, ironically enough. I was talking about bicycles earlier. But they got really nothing to lose, you know. It's not like they're, you know, a college professor. You know, they're two dudes running a bike shop. So when they crash their plane, nobody's like, you fool, you wasted your life. Nobody believes anything you say now. They were like, all right, whatever. Dust it off and get the duct tape out. We're going to try it again. And... like I said, they crashed often, guys, until December 1903. Their $1,000 homemade flying machine versus Langley's $50,000 sponsored flying machine. This $1,000 flying machine takes flight, and it soars through the air, and it soars right through the world's illusion of impossibility. Langley fell. Wilbur and Orville Wright fell. But the difference, the Wright brothers got back up. And when they got up, they fell again. And they got back up again. And they repeated the process and improved on themselves and their designs until they got up one time and they flew. They were the first humans to ever experience the miracle of human flight. Because they refuse to quit. Because they don't listen when someone tells them that their dream is stupid. They don't listen when someone says, that's impossible, kids, you know? You'll never be able to do it. I'm an old man and I hate everything. So, with that, I'm going to read a quote. And this quote is by someone who, you know, if I had to make like a personal Mount Rushmore of people that I admire, this guy's one of my biggest heroes. It's because he was not only a revolutionary, but he was the best at what he did, and he was a very smart man, despite the career path he chose. Because a smart man tries to protect their brain, and when you see what happened to this guy later in life with his brain, it was just truly, it saddened me. I couldn't watch it. This man is Muhammad Ali. This is, I mean... he's right up there with, like, you know, Elvis, and that's the only other guy I can think of as famous as Muhammad Ali that came from America, you know? Like, the world loved this man. He was the world's first rapper, you know? He was the first dude walking around rhyming on beats and shit. Not on beats, but, like, to a rhythm, you know? 1, 2, 3, 4 out there. I'm going to read you this quote first. I wish I could do a Muhammad Ali impression, but, like, because he's like Martin Luther King. Like, when you hear him talking, you're like, hey, guys, shut up. Listen to this guy. Listen to that voice. But, like, when white people try to do impersonations of black people, it always comes off bad, you know? So I'm just going to read it. And it ties in with all this. Impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not fact. It's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing. Muhammad Ali. And, like, I love this guy, you know, because he was a small guy for a heavyweight. Like, he was tall, but he wasn't very heavy. I think he was, like, 6'2", like, I think he barely hit fucking 200 pounds. Like, there's a lot of big dudes at heavyweight, you know? And, he wasn't even really, he's got a lot of knockouts on his record, but he wasn't known as a knockout artist. Like, he would drag you into deep waters, get your ass tired, and then just piece your face up till you fell over, you know? Doing the Ali shuffle, you know? He'll start moving his feet real quick, and you look down, and like, what the fuck's he, pow, you know? Like, he was so smart. He was a cerebral fighter. I love that. But, yeah, like, and he was a cerebral fighter. Like, you can defeat your opponent before you ever step in the ring or the cage with them, you know? If you get in their head and you plant a tiny seed of doubt, by the time the bell rings, that seed is sprouted. And if you're not 100% focused with your brain during a fight, you have to be on point, you know? You're making split-second decisions with dire consequences. So if any of those seconds are spent doubting yourself, you're fucking getting hit, son. So what he did to Sonny Liston, who was, you know, a lot of people thought Sonny was going to beat Muhammad Ali. He's a great boxer. You know, he's an amazing boxer. Sonny Liston's one of the best ever. So Muhammad Ali knew this, and I think Muhammad Ali was a little scared. So he goes, we got to play mental warfare. I got to make this guy just 1% more scared of me than I am of him. And the way he did this is he fucking stalked this guy, dude. Like, he would just show up out of nowhere in this dude's life and be like, "What's up, Sonny Liston?" The best example of this is I heard Sonny Liston tell this story, so you know it's true. He's like, before the fight, a couple months before, I'm sitting at home, car pulls up, not in my driveway, in my front yard. Muhammad Ali gets out of the car. I don't remember the exact date of their fight, but he's like, and he screamed at me through my living room window, "July 17th, Sonny Liston, what's it like to know the day you're gonna die?" And that planted that seed of doubt in his head, man. Imagine if, like, the world fucking heavyweight champ was in your fucking yard, you know, leaving tire tracks, screaming at you, saying he's gonna fucking kill you in front of everybody, you know? That's gonna fuck your head up, dude. And then I used to have this poster in my room, man. That fight, first minute, first round, Sonny Liston on his ass, dude. Like, he fucking fucked his head up so bad that within 60 seconds, that dude was on his back, man. Like, God, mental warfare. That's what I'm saying. Like, you get in somebody's head, and now a fight, it takes place in the physical. You know, obviously, like, typically the more skilled person has the advantage. But I would say it's around 80% mental, and I'm not even joking. Like, if you start panicking in your head, you're going to start breathing heavy, and if you start breathing quick and fast, you're going to get tired really quick, and when you get tired really quick, you're going to fucking lose. Or, I would also, another little percentage, I'd say, yeah, I'll go with 8 again, 80. 8 out of 10 times, if all other things are equal, the calmer man is going to win the fight. The person who's less tense, the person who's more confident in their abilities, the person who, you know, can take a step back and counter that fucking aggressive shot you threw and just boop, right on your chin when you weren't expecting it, that guy's going to win every time. Anderson Silva style, you know. That dude's in there fucking taking slow breaths, you know, blinking, and, you know, he'll fucking turn his head slightly, make you slip, and then make you look like a fucking idiot right in front of everybody. Anderson Silva's one of my heroes, too. Except he fucking failed a drug test for steroids, dude. That broke my heart. But, I mean, not to be all prejudiced against nations, but he's from Brazil, and a lot of those dudes are juicing hard. You know, straight up. Like, that's proven. Alright, guys. I'm going to wrap her up. This is the new format. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you liked that quote by Muhammad Ali. I might actually repeat that quote and close on it. So yeah, I love you guys, truly. Thank you for listening. I'm going to try to make these podcasts a little bit shorter than usual, although I don't know how I'm doing. In between 30 and 40 is what I'm going to be aiming for lately. So yeah, love you guys. Thanks for listening. Holla at your boy. And I'm going to end you with that quote again. God, I wish I could do a good Muhammad Ali impression. Or I wish I had the audio of him saying it. Impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing.